One of the most important things around these winter months is getting that ultimate glow, and I'm going to show you one of my favourite techniques. It is around strobing, but it makes it a really ultra wearable version, and it's all about starting with the right base. So with that in mind, I'm going to use a primer. Because I'm thinking about the glow on my skin, I want to use something that's really radiance boosting, and I'm going to just apply it with my fingers because it just warms it up into my skin, just everywhere, a bit like a moisturiser where I'm going to put my foundation over the top. When people usually talk about highlighting, they obviously focus on the highlight, but I'm going to focus on the skin because you need a really flawless, photo-ready base to kind of set everything off. I'm going to use a foundation that I can kind of adjust the level of coverage I want by how I apply it. You could either use your fingers or go for a synthetic brush because the synthetic fibres just give it that airbrush finish. I'm just going to pick up a little bit at a time off my hand, dot it on the main areas, and then I'm going to blend it in a circular motion because that will give me a more sheer coverage. Don't worry if you think you've put on too little, you can always build it up more. But I want to go for a really natural kind of pretty finish. Don't forget your jawline, that's always a giveaway. So I'm going to share my strobing secret. I don't actually like to use highlighter because I think it's a little bit too glaring and I want this look to be really wearable and natural. So I'm going to mix a hydrating primer, everyone's got one of those, with a really beautiful pearlescent shadow like this one. And it just means that I can blend it into my skin more. It just gives a really beautiful kind of golden glow. So I'm mixing it with a brush, and then I'm just going to apply it in this C shape around my socket. So you'll see it will just pick up the light. And I want a little bit more on my socket too. Bit more for the other side. Then part 2 of the strobing trick is to use a highlighter. We're going in with highlighter this time, just for the final touches. So that would be down the nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow, and then I want to put a bit in the inner corners of my eyes because it just lifts everything. And then obviously blend. As a final perfecting touch, if you feel like you need it, you can use a blurring product, just tapping it over where you want the pores to be hidden, basically, which is, for me, on my nose and a little bit on the forehead. And that's just going to finish off that kind of flawless finish before I go in with a blusher. Because I'm giving my skin a glow in winter, I'm going to use a pink tone blusher, just really subtle, little bit of colour just to pop on the apples of my cheeks. So it's when you smile, these little bits that come up here. Just a really little bit there, tap off the excess so that you're not putting too much product on. Then for the last bit of glowing colour before I go onto the mascara to finish it off is a really pretty nude pink on the lips. Just a little bit, it's going to tie it all together. And then finish with quite a natural mascara because I don't want this to be a real kind of over the top makeup look. And that's it, my ultimate glow tutorial.